Hello, dear students. I'm glad to meet you at our course. Today we are going to discuss metals. Let's start. There are many types of metals used for building. Metals began to be used as building materials not so long ago. It requires a great deal of human labor to produce metals, especially in the large amounts needed for the building industry. Before the beginning of the 19th century, metals played little structural role in the process of construction. They served mostly for joining parts of buildings. The ancient Greeks and Romans used bronze for joining slabs of stone. It was only in the 18th century when the first all-metal structure was built in Europe. It was a cast iron bridge across the river Severn, and 2 centuries after its construction, it still carries heavy modern traffic. In the first half of the 19th century, cast iron and wrought iron were introduced for industrial construction in Europe and North America. The famous Eiffel Tower in Paris was constructed of wrought iron in 1889. By that period, several steel frame skyscrapers had already been built in the United States. That was the beginning of a new era. A new highly useful and popular construction material had been born and introduced into the building industry. All metals except mercury are hard and fire resistant. They have some common properties. Metals can be pulled, forged, and melted. They are also good conductors of electricity. Metals are divided into two groups, ferrous and non-ferrous. Iron, steel, and their various alloys belong to the group of ferrous metals, while the main component of non-ferrous metals is not iron. Ferrous metals are commonly used for construction as supporting members. Steel and other ferrous metals serve as reinforcement. Steel has come into general use with the development of industry. Its manufacture requires special equipment and skilled labor. Structural steel is alloys of iron with carefully controlled amounts of carbon and various other metals such as manganese, chromium, aluminum, vanadium, molybdenum, and copper. The alloying elements control grain size and hence steel properties, giving high strength, increased ductility, and fracture toughness. High carbon steel is used to manufacture hard-drawn wires for cables and tendons. Steel is the best material for reinforcing concrete. Steel reinforcement is a steel bar or mesh of steel wires used as a tension element in reinforced concrete structures to strengthen and hold the concrete in tension. It is impossible to imagine modern construction without steel reinforcement. It is widely used for many different types of structures and components of structures, including slabs, girders, beams, columns, frames, foundations, etc. Copper is a valued building material because of its advantageous properties: corrosion resistance, durability, low thermal movement, light weight, recyclability, and wide range of 67 finishes. Copper is included into roofing, domes, spires, vaults, wall cladding, joints, and indoor design elements. Aluminium is a considerably new building material. For a long period it was considered to be rather expensive, since its production required the use of electric power. Because of its relatively high cost, aluminium was not very popular as a building material till the middle of the 20th century. But now the situation is absolutely different. Aluminium and aluminium-based alloys are extremely popular and are widely used in various forms for construction purposes. The advantages of aluminium compared with other popular metals are its high strength combined with lightness. High purity aluminium, about 99% pure, is soft and ductile, but its great disadvantage is that it is not strong enough. At the same time, it has high corrosion resistance and it is used in construction of buildings as bright foil for heat insulation, roofing, exterior and interior architectural ornamentation. Other metals used for structural purposes include chrome, gold, silver, and titanium. Their disadvantages are high cost, not enough tensile strength, and hardness. Therefore, they are mostly used for decoration. But there are also advantages that these expensive metals have. Let's consider gold. Gold is the most malleable of all metals, so much so that gold leaf can be beaten thin enough to become semi-transparent. Additionally, gold is also an excellent reflector of electromagnetic radiation, which includes solar radiation, visible light, and radio waves. By vacuum depositing a thin layer of gold between sheets of glass or adding a gold nanoparticle coating, architects can design windows that greatly limit the heat and glare of the sun. Both the raw materials and process for making these gold-glazed windows is expensive. A cheaper alternative is often used unless the building is extremely well financed or meant to make an artistic statement. Examples can be seen all around the world. For example, the famous Sydney Opera House occupies all of Bennelong Point in Sydney Harbour, which gets full sun exposure nearly every day. Gold-glazed windows were the perfect solution for keeping thousands of audience members cool while still allowing for amazing views of the harbour. The 45-story Trump International Hotel and Tower in Las Vegas also uses gold-coated windows, not just for energy efficiency, but also to match the aesthetic of the Trump brand. The Royal Bank Plaza Towers in Toronto, Canada, also contain gold in all 14,000 of its windows. To create the windows, Canadian Pittsburgh Industries used 7.1 kilograms of gold. According to current gold price, each window contains almost $230 worth of gold. Thank you for your attention, dear students. We have finished to study module the traditional building materials, and next time we are going to start the new module, the modern building materials. See you next time. Goodbye.